So good morning everybody, it's Jake here, the school nurse. I'm just going to be doing a few videos over the rest of this term, just a bit of some support to all the students when they're at home, and just to have a few topics which might be of interest to you, which may be important to you as the term goes on. So today I'm going to be talking to you about vitamin D, and vitamin D is basically a vitamin that you produce naturally when you get exposure to sunlight. So to begin the video, I'm going to, just as something of interest, I'm going to play 3 songs all which have something to do with the sun, and if anyone can guess what the 3 songs are based on my horrendous guitar playing, I'll give you a prize when you get back to school. See how you go with these songs. Second song. And the last one. As you can tell, I was trained by Eddie Van Halen, graduated from his school in 1992. On more important things though. So one of the things about vitamin D which is important is that it's got a lot of uses in the body, but 3 main ones would be use for muscle contraction, for building of bones, and in this day and age, in immunity. And there's research out there at the moment suggesting that vitamin D, for example, is very useful for combating upper respiratory tract infections. And as we well know, COVID-19 is a fairly sort of popular upper respiratory tract infection that's going around at the moment. The reason why you're all home. Vitamin D, the main way in which you get vitamin D is through sun exposure. And basically what happens is that ultraviolet rays hit your skin. Your skin then produces a chemical which gets, via the bloodstream, gets sent to the liver. The liver changes it a fraction and then sends that to the kidneys, which changes it again. And then the final product then goes around the bloodstream and gets deposited into things like muscles, bones, that sort of stuff. So it's really important to, if you think about your time at this moment and how you're spending your time, if you're anything like my 14-year-old son, he's spending upwards of 6 to 7 hours in his room during school holidays, of course, gaming and all that sort of stuff. But when he is at school and when he's doing his schooling from home, he's obviously in front of the computer nearly all of the day doing his lessons and all that sort of stuff. So he doesn't get as much time outside as what he should and what he needs. So when we're talking about vitamin D, there's some practical strategies which you can do to make sure that your vitamin D levels are at an adequate level. The three main ones are through diet, and when we're talking about diet in this instance for vitamin D, we're talking about things like fish and milk, green leaf vegetables, that sort of stuff. Another way you can get some vitamin D in your system is via supplements, and that can be in the form of liquid or tablets mainly. You can have vitamin D injections, but you don't need to go to that extreme, I don't think, at this point in time. But by far and away, the simplest and the easiest way to get the level of vitamin D you need is to go out and spend some time in the sun. As the winter draws in and the days get shorter and the amount of time that the sun is around is less, and the other thing around that, of course, is that the UV light is, your ultraviolet light is a lot less intense lesser intense as it would be in the summertime. So the standard recommendations for getting out into the sun to make sure that your vitamin D levels are at a good level would be roughly anything between 20 to 40 minutes a day. Now that can be you could do that in a couple of ways. The easiest way would be to go for a walk. The obvious thing, walk your dog, socially distance, go with a parent or a guardian or a carer. And the one thing that I certainly do when I go out is I either try to make sure that I have a pair of shorts on, or I wear a t-shirt. So I'm allowing either my upper or my lower extremities to get exposure to the sun. So obviously the more skin exposure you have, the more vitamin D you're likely to produce. So as far as the video goes for today, it's only short and brief, but I'm hoping that has been some of use to you. And if you can guess what those three songs are, and you can email them into me at peter.j.jacobson@education.tas.gov.au, or alternatively you could ring the school. If you have any further questions, or you have something else that you would like me to talk about, or perhaps you just like me to sit back and play a few songs for you, then just get in touch, and I look forward to seeing you next week.